Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are here with another Panda palette in order update. This is a project that I actually have been really loving doing this year. It is a new project for me this year. It was created by Taylor Buell, I think Bell, I don't know. I don't know, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name exactly, but Taylor created this project a couple of years ago. I don't think she's posting anymore. I haven't seen her post at least, but I absolutely love this project and I have been following her since I think she originally introduced it. I've been watching this project ever since. In the last year or so, I've seen a lot of people also join in on this project, so I'm also excited to be doing it. A lot of people doing it this year. Last year I saw a handful of people do it too, and it's just such a fun one. I think it's an easy project to do if you want to kind of pan eyeshadows, because as the name suggests, you just pan one shade in order. So you start with the first shade in the palette, hit pan on that, move on to the second shade, third shade, and so on. So you only have to work on one shade at a time, which makes it a very low-key project. So I'm going to let you know where I'm sitting today. If you don't know, I'm not going to show you the palette because there's a clear lid, but I'm panning my depotted what's it called, Colourpop singles. So that's kind of what I've been working on, and I'm gonna let you know which shade I've been working on and where I'm sitting today. But before I go into the progress, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So the first month in this project, I already hit pan on the first shade in the palette, which was this one right here. This is the shade Ghostin' from Colourpop. So that one I hit pan on last month, which means that we rolled in the second shade in the palette, which I have right here. This is the shade Frank, which is from the Give It To Me Straight palette. I'm going to insert now the footage of what this one looked like last month when I first started working on it. All of these have a little bit of use. Some of them only have like 1 or 2 uses, some of them have more. But this is what this one looked like. It's just an easy, everyday, kind of warm to neutral brown. So I've been able to incorporate quite often. And this is what it looks like today. So we do have another pan, another success, which I'm very, very pleased with. I'm glad that I was able to pan on this one too before this update, because that means I can keep the project going and have another rollout. So yes, this is eyeshadow right there, and we have the pan showing. It's super, super exciting. It was, of course, more of an easy shade. It's like a neutral brown. So, well, neutral to warm brown. So it was, you know, more of an everyday shade to work on. So now I can also show you the palette. We don't have any more pans at the moment, but those two right there are completed. If you didn't see my introduction to this project, I did randomize the order that these shades are in the palette. But yeah, so that shade now has hit pan on it. That means that the next shade we're going to work on is this shade right here. And I actually have only reached for this one time, which is today. I decided to reach for it today. I'm wearing it all over my lid. I'm wearing a different blue to blend it out, but all over my lid I have a shimmer shade topped on top of the inner half of my lid, and then in the corner shade, stuff like that. But that is the shade that I'm wearing today. So I will insert the footage now what it looks like. This is actually the footage from prior to doing this look, and I will count this use into like for next updates, because I'm not going to say any use before this update. So I'm starting off fresh. So the footage and everything will be prior to this use today, but this will be my first use for the month. So yeah, this shade right here, I haven't said the name I think, but this is the shade Ice Cold, which was from the Mint To Be palette, again obviously from Colourpop. And there's already now a little bit of a disturbance. This, I noticed today, this shadow is a very, very powdery shadow. I have to be very gentle with it. I use like, I don't know, it's over there, but I use like a kind of tapered, fluffier brush to apply it, because I want it all over the lid and also slightly blend into the crease. So I did use that, but I had to like just literally dab it in order to pick it up, and it was a lot of kick-ups, which I tried to pick up on the next use, stuff like that. But it is a very powdery shadow, so even though this is a very bright shade, and probably not one that I will reach for on the daily, like, yeah, you know, I will incorporate it as much as I can. I can do an accent thing, even though lower lash line, stuff like that, for every day or going to the office, but I probably won't use this in this manner going to work and things like that. So even though it is a brighter shade, since it is so powdery, I am expecting this one to hopefully not take too long, but again, we just have to see how it goes. With the other shade, I completely forgot to say, but with the shade Frank, let me pull up my notes. With the shade Frank, I will use that one 16 times in order to pan on it. I completely forgot to say that when I was talking through the usage, but 16 uses for pan, and I believe the shade Golden was also around that mark. I just looked it up now, and that shade was 14 uses, so 14 to 16 uses to hit pan on those two shades. And this one I'm hoping will be no longer than that, and it might even be quicker because it is so powdery. But that is the shade I'm going to focus on, and of course we'll see how long that takes. If I hit pan on it early in the month, which I might do, especially if it is powdery, I'm going to move on to the next shade, which is this blue here. I think is the shade Detour, if I remember correctly. I think that's what it's called. Yes, it is. It's from the Mar palette originally, and it's the shade Detour, which is just like a true cobalt blue. So that's the one I'm going to work on next. But how I do this product is I only actually use the one shade until I hit pan on it, so I don't kind of jump between shades, because this one could probably go with like these type of looks, even though this blue is a bit more like turquoisey leading and this one is a bit more like just true blue. Those two could work quite nicely together, but I do only focus on one shade until I hit pan on it. But let me go ahead and swatch those two shades out so you can see what they look like and what I will focus on for the next month. So to go ahead and swatch out the shades, so this is the shade Ice Cold, which I'm going to work on now, and then this is Detour, which I'm going to work on next if I did pan on this one before the update. And I did also swatch out Frank at the bottom there, so you can see what that shade looks like. That is the one that I used to pan on, but that is going to be the color story moving forward. Those are the three shades on my fingers. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. It's obviously going to be a bit harder. I think this is definitely going to be the hardest shade that I have to work on in this project so far, and that blue is also going to be a bit tricky here. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited though to roll in some new shades and keep this project going. And you know, I wasn't very hopeful to pan on this kind of a minty turquoisey shade before next update, but since it is so powdery, fingers crossed I can. But that is going to be it for this update today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I think these are quite short and sweet because it's not too much to talk about. It's only, again, obviously one shade or maybe two. So it is always going to be shorter ones. But sometimes that is nice too, to have some shorter videos popped in here and there. But I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you guys are having a lovely day wherever you are. And I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.